happening around Igiri to Rivers area where the UN is expanding. So the rental income is really in dollars along the Kenyan coast where people are going on holiday. The demand is quite high. We've spoken to who will rent your units, and the return compares to what you can make here is what you make back in Kenya is quite higher than here from a real estate perspective. Next. The question is, how do I finance real estate? So your brain has some triggers, and there are doctors there. It doesn't, everyone wants to make money, but when you think of making money, it doesn't shine as much. The response from there is not as high. You want to save money, but every advert, and even myself speaking, I'm targeting your money. So everyone wants to spend your money before you save it. I want to start a side hustle. That's a national requirement. Every Kenyan has a side hustle. I'm not aware of one who doesn't have. that's as Kenyan as it can be. You need to have a side hustle. But when you hear, I want to invest in real estate, then many things run through your mind. Is it genuine? Can I make money? How do I fund it? People have lost money. But I'm here to talk about how to make money, not how to lose money. So banks are happy to finance. There is availability of mortgage financing. Developers are happy to finance you. We have 12, 24-month payment plans. You can take your facility in foreign currency in USD, and you can also earn your rental income in dollars. So don't be afraid to invest. Next. The people looking from the data we have from government, if you've read the census report, 88.8% of Nairobi residents are tenants. Effectively meaning 9 in every 10 you meet are tenants. Meaning if you own a house, highly likely you'll get a tenant. So the probability of not getting a tenant is not there. So there is a lot of rent that is Nairobi that is waiting for you to invest, and you find it in your bank account. So the decision is just to invest. St. Amri will correct the rent for you. We will remit it in your account. We'll build while you're here. And I've seen some of our customers here. They can share the good news of the investment they have made. Of course, every investment has a risk. You can be scammed, but you already thought about detailed due diligence. How do you secure your investment while you're here? These properties are registered with the Kenyan government. You're protected. No one can take your investment away from you. You get into genuine regular contracts that you can sue and enforce them should things go wrong. And you can also check the developer completed projects. Have they run in trouble? Have they been able to get out of trouble? Can they resolve issues practically? And then you make a decision to invest with them. Next. This has been really identified, but I'm just using a decision-making criteria to invest in real estate. Due diligence is compulsory. You verify. Actually, due diligence started when I was in school. When my dad or my mom was giving me pocket money, and I'm being given, let's say 1,000 shillings, I would count. And it's free money, I count to verify. So it's your own money now you're investing. You need to make sure that you check thoroughly that it doesn't go away. You need to invest in the best possible location and establish where is the demand coming from. You also need to create a relationship of trust with the person you're buying from. Can I finance it? And how do I protect my risk outside of insurance? Even can I get rental insurance protection so at any time that I'm away, that my assets are protected? Next. I would want to draw a lesson here from the US. We're in close proximity to New York. There was a lady who was there in 1900. She was one of the richest women here in the US. Actually, there's a book, and you can check on Amazon, called The Richest Woman in America. Hetty Green passed on in 1916, and that's a photo of her on the Library of Congress. In 1899, her net worth was $100 million, which could today be $5 billion. You know, in the 1800s, women and the rights they had, and she was able to be one of the wealthiest. She invested in real estate, railroads, and often bailed out the city of New York. But when she was asked about investment, then there are a few things she said. I regard real estate investment as the safest means of using idle money, the surplus money from the 100% margin you make from a business we've been taught can be invested back home. And how do you invest it? You check where the city is going there. You buy land there, you buy an apartment there, you hold. This was mentioned in 1800, which is more than 125 years from today. Yeah, 125 years ago, someone mentioned it, and it's still applicable. To the ladies here, to the Chamwada daughters, every girl should be taught the ordinary lines of business environment. I see you're doing very well. They are here on the ordinary lines of business. And the first order was to sell the painting. So also real estate applies the same principles. Then how do you invest? One of the things she said is common sense is the most valuable possession anyone can have. So invest using your common sense. If it doesn't make sense, you forget it. Finally, get as much information as you can before you invest. And that's why we are here. We are sharing as much information as we can possibly do for you to make a good decision. Just move to the next slide. There's a book I would recommend to you. It's called Psychology of Money. And the best thing is with the 1.9 billion that we'll make one way or another, I love the freedom to do what I want, with whom I want, whenever I want. And maybe I'll be in Bahamas and not sharing this presentation because I have enough money, you and myself. So just draw some lessons from there. We share this presentation next. I will draw a lesson here from 1200 BC, or no, 1200 century. People left Rome, others left Portugal and discovered the world. In fact, Christopher Columbus left Rome, arrived in Bahamas, discovered the US. You left your village, you came here to the US, you have opened a new channel, you have access to top-notch information, you can invest that back home. That's the insight there. So the opportunities we are sharing could be harnessed by the expertise, the resources that you've gotten in this country. Next. Just carry on. Next. I'll read this. This shows really how the economy is doing. I think this you'll read at your own time. Between me and Dina I need to finish my presentation. Just carry on, I'll pick the presentations I want. These I've spoken to. These are the demand drivers. Real estate, I think you need to look at it from a very long-term view. In 2045, which is not far from today, if I ask you 2010, 15 years ago, 2010 was 15 years ago where you are, you can clearly articulate. If I ask you 2040, where you think you'll be, you'll struggle to see it because our minds are not programmed that way. We're not programmed to plan into the future. What I want you to look at is just imagine 2045, where you'll be, and with the resources you have, what opportunities can you take advantage of? Nairobi will be 70. Kenya will have a population of 70 million people. These people will need housing, they will need shopping, they will need many other things, including healthcare. Our population will be aging then, so there is huge opportunity. Next. This I think I spoke to, the housing deficit. 9 in every 10 residents are tenants, so you can make money from rental income. Carry on. So the rental yield in Kenya particularly is on average 10%, whether in whatever currency you think of, which is much higher than here, and you can look at that market. Just carry on. So I have a case study here to share. This one I must share. So in some of our projects, we started one of the projects in Two Rivers. We were selling units of Pran at 33 million 2 years ago, and people are paying 10% deposit and paying over time. Now those units are selling for 60 million, and the rent is $5,000. They have more than doubled their money. They've made more money than the developer. Some of the affordable units that we are doing, we started selling at 4.9. Now actually they're almost 7 million shillings. On paper, the project is not complete, but the value uplift has accrued. So the earlier you can invest, the quicker it is to make a decent return. That's just a slide on value creation. Next. Also rental income. You can make rental income. Here are case studies that are practical. Riverbank at Two Rivers. The rent is $1,100. 2-bedroom is $1,600. 3-bedroom is $2,000. This is rent that is being achieved in Nairobi. And loft residences, the rent is between $3,000 to $4,000. So there is a market. I've explained who the tenant is. A normal Kenyan, an expatriate, someone working for diplomatic missions. Is huge demand. Carry on. Now this is quite a question which I think all of us should reflect on. On retirement, need to be financially stable. Some people retire and no fault of their own, you start a business. The statistics show that when you start your business with your retirement funds, 48% of those businesses are unprofitable. If it's not profitable, it cannot be sustainable. They will eventually close. That 21% perhaps, and that 1% are the ones that are profitable. So don't take risk with your retirement cash. Life after retirement in Kenya, quite a number of people depend on their relatives for sustenance, 47%. Others are forced to work post-retirement. Others depend on their pension. The ones who are financially independent are 6%. So as we think today, we need to think about that stage of retirement when you should be taking a cruise ship from Miami, Florida, and see the world. You don't need to rely on relatives. You don't need to start working. You can plan yourself and enjoy your retirement peacefully. And some of that money can come from Kenya. Next. Carry on. No, these are already spoken to. Just carry on. The legal process was well articulated. I'll share this presentation. Just carry on. That was already done, so I don't need to repeat, but it's a comprehensive process. Okay. 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 Just carry on. So I want to speak about financing. There is affordable financing that is in place from Kenya Mortgage Refinance Company through the banks. You can get mortgages at an interest rate of 9.5%, a maximum amount of 10.5 million, and the total financing period is 25 years. So I think diaspora, you can take advantage of that because that's the cheapest rate you can get in the market. And if you bought a house that is 10.5 million, your repayment would be 92,000 per month. Just go to the previous rate. Yeah, here. So This is info we can share and I can discuss with you separately after dinner. Yes, carry on. I've not said who we are, that's why I want to get there. I've been sharing stories, theories. So this is, I work for this institution, St. Amri, the largest investor and developer of real estate in East Africa. That's our project in Uganda, complete by the shores of Lake Victoria. We've done more than 2,000 units, and we have 10,000 units under construction. Next. We've gotten some recognition. We are super brands. We are EDGE certified, and customers have given us other rewards. Some of our projects include so this is Two Rivers, which you may know of. So all this is complete and operational. You can live there, you can work there, you can entertain yourself there, you can thrive there, you can get access to healthcare. So this is not proposed. This quality of life is accessible and in place already. We also do scholarship education. We educate nearly 450 bright and needy kids. We spent in excess of $1 million in that venture. So the investments we get, we invest back to the community. Next. We've received some recognition and we focus on sustainable buildings. Next. If you invest, we take care of your investment. We do the asset management component, we collect rent on your behalf, and we remit it back to you and ensure that your asset is well maintained. Carry on. Yes, carry on. So this is one of our projects, Two Rivers, which majority of you know of, plus the residential components around it. That's the master plan when it's complete. It's maybe 20% done. Those are some of the projects which I'll share with you after this. This is Vipingo, where one of the best holiday destinations. Those are 440 apartments done, and most of the investors are diaspora. You can buy a plot and build a home of your liking. This is one of that. It also has an industrial component, so people working there stay in your homes, and the industries are operational. That's Uganda, a community that is in place. You can own a property anywhere and get the same rental income. Carry on. So as I finish, just carry on. If you don't mind, you can scan the QR code. We'll share with you this presentation. I'm available to answer any questions, but I hope the surplus capital you make out of these exciting investments you're doing in this country, you can take advantage of the opportunities that are available in your country, and in 2045, you enjoy your holiday in a destination of your liking, with who you like, at whatever time you feel like, because you'll be financially independent. Thank you.
Wow, what a presentation. Hii problem ni sisi tulijitakia. Last time we were here, we were told too much of sell. Migunda, nini. So you challenged us. Thank you, Kiforo. You are here. Thank you, who? I mean, everybody. You said we want education. We want also dialogue and not just people coming to sell. And you've seen the approach of our partners. Very educative. Makofi tena kwa Kenneth Mbaye. And remember, even Kenneth Mbaye is staying here. He's available. Scan. Okay, you've already scanned. Maybe look for him. After dinner, interact more with him. So that what they've done is to educate you. If you are convinced, then look for them. You can't remember their contact, just ask me. And Richard, you said you want to come to Kenya. You can see. So you have a wide range of possible places to go. You've listened to Lomu Homes. You've listened to Farm Limited. You've listened to Centum Real Estate, Kenneth. So you have a lot to choose from. And karibu sana Kenya. Situmkaribishe Richard Kenya. Asante sana. Quickly, Balozi is online, listening and watching. And as I said, tulijitakia hii, and it's a learning lesson. It's better than what we did last year. You are so informed. So Balozi is on standby, but as we do a technical shift so that we can have him online, allow me to have Sandra for just 3 minutes. Kikapu Afrik. Tumpigie Sandra makofi. And as Sandra comes, allow me to quickly, because I've told you people share your stories. Wilfred Simama, watu wakuone. Wilfred anauzianga Royco, sijui nini, majani kutoka Kenya, and we featured him on Daring Abroad. Tumpigie makofi. Royco, sijui mpaka Tropico, ati mnapendanga sana Tropico kutoka Kenya. Nini ingine? Niliona vitu mingi sana. Big G, oh my God, nini ingine? You know, Kenya, he brings Kenya here. Majani chai, unga ya jogo gani. My goodness, you should visit his shop. Wilfred, sinimekupigia debe. Mburu, you want to ship things home. I've featured almost the entire New Jersey. Maybe you are the only one remaining. Desmond, you are the only one remaining. Mburu simama watu wakuone. Yeah. He's on Daring Abroad. Thank you. You go to our, and subscribe to Chams Media YouTube, Chams Media TV YouTube. If you've not subscribed, you don't know what you are missing. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't know what you are missing. Julie here told me she's been watching Daring Abroad from the first episode. Thank you so much, Julie. Now, Wambugu, I would want to appreciate you also. Wambugu, simama, watu wakuone. Asante sana. Sandra Balozi is on standby. So you are standing in between Balozi and the dinner. People want to eat. 3 minutes. Ukienda sana, mimi nakusimamisha.
See how it's unfair, right? This is why I'm talking about women and invest. Sasa mimi imagine napewa tu 3 minutes. Hao wengine wanaongea tu as much as they want. And exactly, right? So watch this space. I usually start my presentation by asking, and this is not it's not a question to shame you, but I'm going somewhere with it. So how many are married in the house? Hands up if you're married. Yeah. No, there's a reason why I'm going this. Be proud of being married. Like, if you're married in the house, okay. How many are currently with their spouses here today? Right? So there's a reason why I'm asking that. My name is Sandra Olwal. I'm the CEO of Kikapu Afrik. I have a business with my husband called Imara Captures, where we do the 360 videos. And then I also have a company called Turn and True, and I'm a financial consultant. So before I speak, most people wonder, like most Kenyans, we are crazy about paperwork and your qualifications. So yes, I have an MSc Finance from Salford University. I have an MBA. I am CPA certified, CFA, and I am a certified financial specialist, so I can give financial advice. I don't do it for free. I do it at a cost. I also file taxes. I am certified to do that. I have a CPA. So I am speaking here because I am certified too. So this is just not, it's good to get that out of the way, right? If you have the papers, like I worked for them, I earned every single one of them, so yes. Next thing I want to talk about is, a research was done recently about women and finance. Why am I here today? And they asked about maybe 1-point-something million women why they don't invest. The results are going to surprise you. So, 6%, let's start with the list. 6% say that they just pay someone else to invest in them. They don't care where the money goes. So you could be, especially if you live in US, we have Fidelity, Morgan. 6% of the women were like, we don't just want to invest on our own, we pay someone to do it, just 6%. And then 13% say they don't invest because they are afraid to lose money. So today I'm here to demystify that part. Why are they afraid to lose money? Because they might lose money, right? Investments are not guaranteed. Yes, you can invest in anything, but it's never guaranteed. But why is that just a myth? This is a myth because most of us, especially Kenyans, and I'm sorry to say this, we don't take time to educate ourselves in our investments. How do we invest money? My friend, I don't want to mention this company, but say, let's give it a very random name. Let's say this company is called Kikapu. Let's use mine. My friend bought shares in Kikapu. She made 1 million. So what are we all doing? We're all jumping into Kikapu. We don't have any education. We are not doing any, we are just buying or investing because someone else has told us to. Or we just go with the wave. We don't sit back and do our homework, do our due diligence. We don't do any research. We just jump into investment. So the 13% of women who are scared is because they have lost money or they have had people losing money. They've not done their due diligence. So that is why they lose money. But my point is, if you take your time to invest, you can make money. So investments are not bad. But yes, you can be afraid because you see people losing money, which is one thing which women do. This is technology and my phone logging on and off. So the second session, so out of the women who do not invest, 32% said, well, I just don't have enough money to invest. All right, so we all live in the US. Do you think every month, as you're seated here, you could afford $200, say, to invest? Is that reasonable? Or let's break it down. Let's say $100. Do you think you can invest $100 every month? All right, so I'm going to challenge you guys. I work at Amazon. I've been at Amazon for 10 years. Random guess, if you invest in the stock market, how much do you think the stock of Amazon was in 2050? How much was the stock? Just give me a random figure. Yeah. 74. It was about $375. And let me tell you how much it is right now. This is before the split, because we split it into 10 times. So right now, 195, it could be about $6,000 or $7,000. Meaning, if you had $300 10 years ago and just bought one stock, today you'd be having about 8,000 from just that one. So we can't say that we don't want to invest because we don't have money. If you truly don't have money to invest, then what you need to do is you need to take a step back, look at your lifestyle, and figure out, how can I cut my expenses to leave extra money for me to invest? And if that's not viable, then what do? Get a side hustle, right? You can drive Uber, like whatever it is that you need to do to get some money for you to make an investment. So that is also not a viable excuse for not investing, and that was 32%. The biggest percentage was 49%. So 49% said that they don't think they have any idea of how to invest. And I think most of us fall in that bracket. A lot of us just don't know where to start. But why is that also a myth? That is a myth because right now, we all have time, right? We just need to be willing and able to learn how to invest. How many have heard of ChatGPT? I'm sure every single one of us, right? Who today has watched their Facebook, and some of you I saw you on Facebook City. Who has watched a reel? Or who has watched a Facebook story? Or who has logged into the internet? We all have today at some point wasted time looking at something that did not add value to us. What if you spent 15 minutes every day? My commute a day is 40 minutes. So what if you spent, while you're driving, because most of us who are seated in this room, we all drive cars that have Bluetooth. So you can connect Bluetooth to your car while driving to work. What if you just took that time as you're commuting to work to listen to a TED Talk? How to invest money, how to buy stocks, how to invest in real estate. What if we spent that time to educate ourselves on investments as opposed to what we're doing? So we can't, the 49% who say they don't have an idea about investing, that's also an excuse. It's a myth. They don't have an idea because they don't want to take time to do it. Right now we have books online. You can get Amazon Kindle for free. You can have a free subscription. Like we all have the opportunity to get the knowledge. YouTube has tons of free knowledge. Some of these influencers on social media, Instagram, tons of free knowledge. Now they share even reels, like you can watch a 2-minute reel of people who are giving you valuable information about investing. So we can't say, I don't know where to start. We don't know where to start because we are not willing to learn, right? So if we take your commute home is the easiest. Or when the next time you're on Facebook, just Google, search how to make $100 tomorrow. And watch that reel, watch that Instagram, educate yourself so that you can know how to invest. Why am I passionate about women in finance? So I told you about all these women who had excuses as to why they don't invest. Only 6% were investing, but it was letting other people invest for them. Out of all those women sitting here, like not sitting here, but who are asked for that survey, 34% of them say they invest because their husbands encourage them to. And 24% say they invest because their parents encourage them to. So for the men who are sitting in this room, you have a role to play, right? For the longest time, and I know I'm speaking as a Kenyan, we grew up in Kenya where the men were the breadwinners for the longest time, and women were just the homemakers. So the men took all the responsibility of the financial burden, and so the women have just been sneaking, under the radar. Women have money. They have money. To all the men who are sitting here, your wife has money. Your sister has money. Your girlfriend has money. Like, women have money. And more often than not, the reason even why they fall into all these expensive scams, and they can't even tell their significant others because they lost so much money that you didn't even know they had. So they can't tell you about the loss. They'll just close their eyes and cry on Facebook or Instagram. But the truth is, women have just sneaked under the radar. They are great savers. They have money. Do not despise these charmers. We have money. But we don't have the knowledge to invest. And we need the help from the men who are sitting here to support us. So I'd encourage the men, let's talk about financial decisions. Let's involve women in making this decision. Rumor has it, because I'm married, couples who talk about their finances and make financial decisions together are generally successful, right? So let's involve them. Let's bring them in. They have money. They have money. They don't know what to do with it. So whenever these scams that look good, because they are not educated and they're just seeing all these percentages, they make wrong investments. Other than you would have sat down together, shared the knowledge, and made great investments together and succeeded together, versus her losing X amount of money that she can't talk to you about because she's just not knowledgeable. So my encouragement is, as for women, all these excuses that were the top 4, they're not real excuses. We can educate ourselves, we can make money, and we can invest together. Thank you so much.
Wow. Is the camera seeing us? Wow. I'm trying to compensate. And, because actually we realized, and actually we need a lady in our team. Patrick, I, and Edison, we are all men. So crafting the program, little did we know that we are bringing women last. But anyway, the advantage is top layer, because balozi amekusikiza na amesema amekusikiza, akasema wewe upewe nafasi ya kuuliza swali. He's willing to wait for a question, na ameomba mkuwe patient, mutakula. Anasema anajua nyinyi watu wa Amerika, mutakula tu. So swali kwa Sandra. Balozi amesema tumpatie time ajibu swali moja, and then we bring him. Is there a question for Sandra? You are lucky, you see, I've compensated. Oh my goodness. Come here for the sake of the camera.
Thank you, Alex, and thanks for the opportunity. And I'm going to ask this question on behalf of a lot of women. On behalf of a lot of women who are either watching or sitting behind, we always talk and we always have friendships and we tell each other other things, but I realize that we rarely talk about investing together. And why is that? Because you're standing here and I'm sure you have a circle of friends and they wouldn't listen to you if you tell them about investing, and yet you're the expert. So why is that?
I think generally, the reason is because, unfortunately, investment for the longest time has just been a man's world. Like when I was in finance, I was in banking for the longest, and I can't tell you how many rooms I sat in where, honestly, I was the only woman. When I came to America, I worked in a tax company, and it's called Resnick, because it's fact. We were 100 of us, and the first time I was hired on Monday, on Friday, somebody was retiring, so we walked into a retirement party, the office parties. It was about 220 people, and we all live in America, right? When I walked into that room, I was the only black person. The only one. Forget even the woman, I was the only black person. Like there was not even a single male employee in that company. Like I walked around and I swear the whole room, they all turned their heads. I think they were so shocked that their company could even hire a woman. Like I was sitting in their table. Like everyone was like, did you interview? That's how shocked they were. So I think for the longest time, people relate money, finance, and everything with men. And even other women will not trust another woman to tell them how to invest the money. Because we just believe men are right, men should tell us what to do. And I'm not saying, for the men sitting here, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you guys are not knowledgeable. I'm not saying you're wrong. But let's just face it. There are women who are sitting here today who don't know how much their men make. They don't know what is in their bank account. They absolutely have no clue if they have a savings or not. They don't pay the bills, but they're living every day. And, their house is not closed, so they're okay. But even as Kenyans, we don't talk about money. Money is very sensitive. As someone who files taxes, I promise you there's a couple who once, not even a couple, like the wife was like, oh my God, Sandra, can you file my taxes? And I was like, sure. And if you're filing for someone taxes, the reality is I need your W-2s. I don't care how much you make. But I have a tax number, my name is there, I can't lie to the IRS. So I need to see your W-2s, right? But people wouldn't even trust me for that. So generally, I don't know what they think you're going to do with the information, or maybe you're going to despise how much they make, I don't know. But Kenyans are very sketchy when it comes to money. And I think that's the reason. It's because finances are just related with men, and in our world, we can't see a woman giving us advice about finance, to answer your question. But like I said, in this day and age and in this generation, women are educated. There's so much information, and they can make great decisions. They can make great investors. So I think that's the answer in short. Yeah.
Well done, well done, well done. Mnaona, this is it. So, msiende na mkumbuke mko na raffle ticket. Kuna kwingine tulienda alafu mtu akawin na akawa amepoteza hiyo ticket. So iweke vizuri, the amazing awards. Kenya Airways is here. Steve Ngamau is here to talk to you after dinner. So quickly, Edison, if you are clear with Balozi joining, can we put him on screen so that this is Kenya's Deputy Ambassador to the US, Ambassador Chris Kirigwa. As I said, he really would have wanted to be here with you, but due to unavoidable circumstances, he didn't manage to make it. But he'll give us a brief address on investment opportunities in Kenya and in US and cross-border trade, and if there are any agreements, Kenya, America, or America-Africa trade agreements that you could tap into. So we are just preparing. Stand by, Musiende, this is the climax, and we really appreciate your patience. He's been following this discussion, so he has it, he has taken notes, and we are really privileged. We are really privileged. America-Africa trade agreements that you could tap into. So we are just preparing. Stand by, Musiende, this is the climax, and we really appreciate your patience. He's been following this discussion, so he has it, he has taken notes. Is that me? We are really privileged. We are really privileged. As a presenter. Good evening, can you hear me? Karibu sana, Balozi, and the audience is keenly listening to you. Kindly just give us some highlights. What is it that this diaspora community can tap into, those untold investment opportunities? Karibu, Balozi.
Thank you very much. Please
Yes, we can hear you.
And the audience is keenly listening to you. Kindly just give us some highlights. What is it that this diaspora community can tap into those untold investment opportunities? Karibu Balozi.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I think I'll start first by just thanking yourself, by the way, Alex, and what your team.
I'd like to start by thanking you for putting this together. I think it's a very informative session. I had the privilege of listening to Sandra, very good presentation. And one thing I'll say is that I'd like to help Sandra answer the last question. I think in Kenya, women do invest a lot, and there are very many chamas led by women as opposed to men. Opportunities are available for everyone, so I'll touch about that. So my name is Ambassador Christopher Kirigwa. I'm a career banker by profession. I went to school in Chicago, and there are very many chamas led by women. Okay, there's a conflicting. So I'm a career banker. I went to school in Chicago, went back home in 2003. Spent 17 years with Standard Chartered Bank, where I started from an entry-level job and rose all the way to the executive director for Africa and Middle East. And in 2020, during COVID, I led a private sector group of business leaders in Kenya to develop a post-COVID economic recovery plan for the country. And thereafter, I was recruited by government. They've been trying to get me for quite a number of years. Unfortunately, when I was in private sector, I was very comfortable. But at that time during COVID, I stated that if some of us don't join government, who's going to change our country? So that's when I ended up joining government. I led public-private partnerships at the Treasury for 4 years, and then got appointed. They've been trying to get me for quite a number of years. Unfortunately, when I was in private sector, I was very comfortable. At that time during COVID, I stated that if some of us don't join government, who's going to change our country? So that's when I ended up joining government. I led public-private partnerships at the Treasury. There's a conflicting video. Thank you. Okay, it has come out. So yes, I led public-private partnerships at the Treasury and took up this role of diplomacy after my appointment in March 2024. Here in the US, we focus on especially three very key areas: the economic pillar, political pillar, and diaspora pillar. All these three pillars are very critical in enhancing our position and also strategic relationship we have with the US. I'd like to start first, number one, with the economic pillar. This is a pillar whereby we focus on, for example, getting into a trade agreement with the US. And our agenda here is to get our goods, access to market for our goods and products. I've heard Bwana Alex talk about a number of products which a number of business people there are importing here into the US. Our role is to ensure that we're able to support you to scale up and to access more goods and access more markets for our goods. In this aspect, I'll just give you some key highlights on three sectors: coffee, flowers, and tea. Last week, I was in Miami, and I sat down with the Miami Airport Authority, the flower teams. Miami imports 60% of the roses in the US. And our engagement was, how can we get Kenyan roses to come directly into Miami as opposed to them going through Amsterdam? So these are some of the solutions. We're trying to do this thing for coffee to get access for most of our coffees. Our coffee farmers right now buy coffee at approximately $8 per kilo. However, coffee in the US is bought at approximately $20 per kilo. So it just shows you if we're able to tap into this market, the total volume of coffee is about $350 million. If we're able just to access this market directly, our farmers will end up with $700 million as opposed to $350 million. So that can only be done if we're able to create an environment for them to access this market. Another pillar on this we look at on the economic side is tourism, and we're looking to scale up the number of tourists who come from the US into Kenya. This is a big pillar where we're working on with different cities. We've been able to tap into DC, New York, Miami, and also California. We're looking to get into sister city arrangements between Nairobi, Mombasa, and some of these cities to ensure that we proactively work together to scale up our tourism. On the political side is where we look at areas like the bilateral relationship between Kenya and the US. And the biggest aspect here we look at is the trade pillar. This is to get into a trade agreement similar to what the United Kingdom recently got into with the US. And we've had a number of strategic engagements with Secretary Marco Rubio, with Ambassador Greer at the USTR, to support, enhance our trade agreements with the US, where we're good to be able to access this market. Now, the third one is the diaspora pillar, which is also a very critical pillar for us. The US diaspora is the largest diaspora we have globally and remit the most amount of money into the country. Yes, I've heard about a number of the speakers talk about the various investments that are currently being done by the diaspora. Mostly, diaspora sends money mostly for family maintenance. However, one key element is to strengthen investment solutions for the diaspora in real estate and also infrastructure projects, which are well structured to protect the diaspora interest. A big pillar that Ambassador Kirich and I are working on is to ensure we protect our Kenyan diaspora when they're here in the US. And how are we going to do that? Is to first, number one, to ensure that our diaspora knows their rights and ensure that they're well looked after, especially in the current circumstances which are ongoing here in the US. So we are looking to ensure that our diaspora is not disadvantaged and is well protected when they're here. Part of the other things that we look at here is to strengthen investments by the Americans. And Americans, especially with the new administration, they've really been focusing on the rare earth mineral sector. So mining is very key. We're looking to tap into some of this American funding for them, especially on sectors related to mining. Kenya has not been strong in this, but we do have significant mines, especially when you look at Mirima Hills or base titanium dig in Kwale. The Americans are also looking to invest in hard infrastructure like roads, ports, airports, but also a very big element here is on fintech, financial services, and insurance. That gives you a nutshell about the embassy, but we also look at one area, which is the consular sector, where we support our diaspora in securing passports, IDs, dual citizenship, and any other consular services. The embassy is available at any time to support any of you who need these services. And through Alex, I'm happy to share any contacts that you might need to support you in any services you might need from the embassy. Let me stop there to allow any questions that may come in. So Alex, thank you very much. I think that gives you a good highlight of what we're working on here at the embassy. Thank you.
Asante sana. Makofi kwa balozi. Makofi tena, hayo hayatoshi. Thank you so much. We are always in touch when he's in Kenya, and he's promised he'll be also attending the next event in Worcester. Okay, tell Njoroge to unmute. I think he had muted because of the feedback. Njoroge, if you can hear us. Hold on, Balozi. Okay, one quick question for Balozi. Especially on investment. Kindly, quickly, because of the camera come in front, I'll take 2 questions only, and they happen to be all ladies. One on investment, then another one probably on another matter, welfare. But We agree to balance. 2 questions. I hope Balozi is listening. Karibu. Say your name and then your question.
Hello, Balozi. Hello, everybody. I'm Caroline. And my question unto you is about the coffee, flour, and tea. I wanted to understand what you said you're working on it, or is it in progress, and when do you expect your, how do I say, the structuring of the program to start? Or how do business people start working with you? Thank you.
Did you get the question? Coffee, flour, and tea? And the question is? What is the question? The program you talked about, coffee, flour, and tea, is it in progress, Balozi?
Absolutely, thank you. That's a very good question. Yes, it is in progress. Let me give you this. Let me give you a snapshot. We've had a number of sessions with a number of buyers, especially very big buyers
on coffee, and not much progress was made in the past. But I'll tell you what the challenge has been. We've been targeting buyers like Walmart, and I can tell you, Walmart alone, we cannot supply them more than 1 month in terms of coffee. So what we need to do is we're working with smaller buyers, and it's to work with these smaller buyers to pick up all our coffee. So the new KTDA in Kenya consolidates this, and what we're doing is we're working with some of the farms, some of these coffee houses here, to get direct access to these medium-sized coffee roasters in the US. The ultimate goal is to have some of these roasters partner up with Kenyans in Kenya so that we can get finished products to land here. So the program has started. Just last week, for example, on the flowers, when I was in Miami, we were able to engage directly with the mayor and also with a number of senior officials in Miami, and they are putting together the Flower Importer Association for them to import our flowers directly, as opposed to them going through Amsterdam. Some of the issues that we also need to address is the logistics, because we'll need to ensure that we've got enough cargo, refrigerated cargo flights from Kenya. Currently, they're coming, Ethiopian Airlines goes directly to Miami, but in the interim, we can get the flowers to leave with Ethiopian Airlines if Kenya Airways does not get into that market. But when Kenya Airways gets to Miami, we'll be able to scale that further on cargo.
Thank you, Balozi. One more question, and remember, you give me the questions, we'll forward to Balozi, he'll respond. We are a network now, we are a group. We'll make sure that your questions are responded to. One more question, brief. Karibu. You wanted to ask a question, so Karibu.
Yeah, my name is Elizabeth Nyaega. Hi, Balozi. Hi. So, yes, I don't mean to be a little controversial, but if I heard correctly, you mentioned something like you are trying to ensure that you make sure that the Kenyans in diaspora know their rights. Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct. So that is a program, just to give you, yes, that is correct. That is a program we are initiating. Remember, Ambassador Kirich and I just moved a few months ago. But please proceed.
Okay. Answered? Yeah?
No, I don't think it's answered. I think he knows where I'm going. He can read my... Sorry?
What's the question?
My question is, can you use the same energy to ensure that the Kenyans also in Kenya know their rights? Like, use the same, because I'm sure here, I don't think, in America, when we land here, it's the land of freedom. When you see that Statue of Liberty, land of freedom, we don't need to worry about our rights here. We are safe here. It's the free. So you need to use the same, energy instead of kind of using that energy on us, as knowing our rights, please do that and, ensure that the Kenyans in Kenya know their rights, they are protected too.
Thank you so much. Balozi, that was an opinion. I don't know if you want to respond to it.
Well, it's certainly well noted.
Just say it again. I think he meant you are saying it's well noted. Eh?
I think it was a comment. I don't think there was an action of my side. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Great. Tumshukuru sana Balozi for your time. Let's clap for Balozi. Wow, wow, wow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, they are just preparing the plates for you. As they prepare, because I have to be sure, as they prepare, Desmond, quickly, it's your turn. And we'll be educated on AI and business, and he's said he has a real quick one before we go for dinner. Karibu, we really want to be fair. So, Balozi, you can wind up and bye-bye to the audience.
Thank you very much and all the best. If there are more questions.
And Balozi, before you go, I appreciate everything you said. You made me change part of my speech.
Asante Balozi, tutaonana Worcester, God willing. Asante, and you can keep listening in as we wind up before we go for dinner. Desmond.
Okay, so as people say, it's always gonna be short. Mine was gonna be long, but it's been made short. And I was to talk matters, I have to set my other leg. I was in a bad crash 2 months ago. So I appreciate, this is the third invite I got. And I decided to take this because the person who invited me said that you're instrumental to my life. And everything that was said here, there were some rejection sounds that came behind me. I couldn't tell who did all that. But for me, rejection, it's a level of uncertainty that, like you're not convinced of what's happening, right? There's certain statements that were made that I was about to walk, because I'm on so much effing pain, But then I'm like, then another sentence comes in and it actually drills down to what I wanted to talk about, right? Which is, if you look at, you look at all this, I didn't have mine just because of certain situations, but ordinarily I would have, CMG on there, right? And when you look at this, we are coming over here trying to make something bigger than what we are, right? And when you are making something that is bigger than what you are, you have to go through certain things, right? And that's how I came up with my speech, and I'll go through my speech, but a lot of y'all that know me will tell. And I had 2 copies just in case I lost one. And I was to talk about AI, but I have paper, right? Because even me, I trust AI, but to some extent. Sindio. It's the same copy. It's 2. But one was just in case another one disappeared. But anyway, as we wait to go and eat, right? I'm not a good speaker. This is actually my first, how do you call it? Like, I'm used to talking to folks in my company where I have authority. I can tell them I'm going to sleep. And they, but over here, I have to know what to say. But then they taught me to know what to say for so many years, to a point that I was about to curse a second ago, then I didn't, because now I can tell when not to curse, right? So let me just say I'm so honored to be over here with my fellow Kenyans, right? I'm Kenyan from Kisumu, right? Ilinadi. Omera, what do you mean? Right? So, and with friends, because they are friends that I met, and I'm like, I was about to curse. You are here, right? For y'all that are still cursing, you can tell what I was gonna say. And I'm like, yeah, I'm here. And my name is Stephen Desmond, and I wear so many hats. From digital, 3 months ago I became a bit spiritual when I hugged a tree. Then God said, you have to still stay here, and that's why, I have to limp coming over here. And besides that, I also founded a company over 10 years ago called CMG that has helped hundreds of Kenyans get into IT. Like, I've been in the back end. Even the invite here has been, you trainers, you can talk, but you don't think you can talk in front of people. I'm like, no, I was born shy. They're like, no, you talk to us. When we don't do our homework, we know exactly how you talk to us, right? So I'm grateful for that. And CMG is a hybrid company. And we merged. Well, I didn't merge. The company was collapsing 3 years ago. Then IT came. And it was collapsing because I couldn't keep up with folks who would tell me they would do this and then they wouldn't do it, and I would pay them. And AI came, and I was able to automate so many stuff within the AI spectrum. Besides just, doing IT, doing all those projects and stuff. And this came down, like the rest I'll say later, but this came down 3 months ago when I went to my lowest. I got into an accident, I was in a hospital, and no one knows what I do, including my wife. So they're scrambling to figure out, okay, the office, when is the rent due? What needs to happen, right? And that's when I came to realize that, I should have been in places like this, talking about what I do, what I found out, right? Instead of just having that passion that, okay, I'm going to pick this person and build them to what they have to be. So that's what I appreciate. So through custom training, I integrate healthcare hospitals. I'm the guy who comes and says, okay, this lab has to talk to this hospital. This government hospital has to make sure that there's no line on there, because I can jump in and do whatever I can do to make that happen. And for folks who are looking for something to do, right? That's something. Like, there are organizations in America that call me to train people who are already directors and managers, right? Just because whoever invited me here believed in me over 10 years ago from the little knowledge I had. So what I would say is, beyond remittance, the reason why deliberately I didn't even put my stand is because all you have to do is type my name, reach out, but most importantly, know exactly who you are as a person, right? I went to places where I love God, and people would make me feel like God is nothing, right? So whoever you believe in, that's your drive. Whatever you want to do, these are the places that you'll be. I'll cut whatever I wanted to say today just because everyone mentioned it. And I'll just echo the 2 rivers you see and all this that you see over here, support them, because you do not know the tears and the pain they went through to build that, But other than that, I appreciate this forum, and I'll give you all education on AI and stuff, but I think you all just need to know that this is something that is extremely important for you to be part of, and we appreciate those that actually contributed to this.
Ladies and gentlemen, you'll agree with me. This has been really amazing. It's a problem we brought onto ourselves. We have a partner, and imagine all the way from UK. It's a short video of 1 minute. So that's our last partner. So really, it will be an anticlimax. We go for dinner and then come for only one. So we've tried really to manage. Be patient. Kindly, we will play the video for Tuma Tuma. But in the meantime, Kenya Airways wants to award you before you go, for theirs before you go for dinner. Quickly, ladies and gentlemen, apologies. There was a mistake on the raffle tickets. So, yes, it's a good problem. As we line up and as you watch the Tuma Tuma, Elvis, you have to do it quickly, really fast. So give those tickets you have or destroy them. Elvis, I don't know how you want to do it. So they'll give you others because they were supposed to be retaining one. So there is no copy. So how do we get the winner? So, you know, the anomaly too. So there are people who have similar numbers. So it's a crisis. So quickly, give out, don't have two. So I don't know how you'll collect the ones they have already. And imagine you stand a chance to win a voucher worth $500 to redeem on Kenya Airways. So quickly, that will take a short time. And as we do that, so as they collect, please pay attention. Tuma Tuma is a new remittance platform, and it's Kenya-owned. So it's Kenya-owned and headquartered in the UK. Thank you so much, Bonnie and your team, for really thinking outside the box and giving us innovation. So it's Kenya-owned money remittance platform from a word that is familiar to you in Kiswahili, Tuma Tuma. And you can Tuma Pesa from the US to Africa to Kenya, from Canada, and soon from UAE, and also from UK. UK, US, Canada, and soon from UAE. It is one of the few platforms where you can send money also from Kenya to the US or UK or Canada. So they are calling it reverse remittance. So you see, you can have your folks back home hata wao watumie pesa ama namna gani. So mnatuma tu. So Tuma sasa wanawapatia platform ya kutuma pesa kutoka nyumbani kuja hapa. So we want to introduce this valued partner. Elvis, you are blocking me on the camera. My viewers are not seeing me. Yes. So Bonnie and your team in the UK, you are taken care of, and here we play your video. Tuma Tuma.
From the heart of New Jersey to the slopes of Embu, Tuma Tuma connects the world. We don't just move money. We're a lifeline connecting communities across continents. Whether it's a parent sending love home or a business expanding across borders, we make it happen instantly, securely, affordably. Investment flows both ways, just as we move money seamlessly across borders. We believe in moving opportunities. Today's remittance becomes tomorrow's investment. Today's connection becomes tomorrow's partnership. Download Tuma Tuma app today to send, receive, invest. Tuma Tuma. We send more. From the heart of New Jersey to the slopes of Embu, Tuma Tuma connects the world. We don't just move money. We're a lifeline connecting communities across continents. Whether it's a parent sending love home or a business expanding across borders, we make it happen instantly, securely, affordably. Investment flows both ways, just as we move money seamlessly across borders. We believe in moving opportunities. Today's remittance becomes tomorrow's investment. Today's connection becomes tomorrow's partnership. Download Tuma Tuma app today to send, receive, invest.
Great. So, Tuma Tuma will have the advantage of its very short playing again after dinner. So a quick rundown of what is remaining. So Kenya Airways is going to award you that raffle right now. Then we'll have dinner. Attention kindly. Attention after the Tuma Tuma video. We'll play it again after dinner. So we'll have the raffle for Kenya Airways next. And then we go for dinner. Then we'll have two more KWS. 7 people to have a game drive in Nairobi National Park. You will win that. Then we have Safari Link, local flight in Kenya. If you win that, for a couple, that you have a return ticket to a bush or beach destination. So that is what is remaining. And I now invite, as we do this raffle, Steve Ngamau to tell us about Kenya Airways. I was on the first flight from Nairobi to New York. If you go to our YouTube channel, wow, it is one of the most watched videos on Champs Media TV YouTube. It was amazing. How many years now? 7? Yeah, and I love 14 hours. The only thing I told them is Wi-Fi, because I'm a business person. I want to work as I travel. Karibu, Steve Ngamau. Yes, yeah.
All right, thanks, Champs. I think, sometimes you need to digital detox. There are very few moments where you can just chill, rest, and not get, let's say, distracted by your media. So sometimes it's good to, chill. But today I'd like to appreciate the Kenyan community. They've been very, very good guests of ours, and also to Champs Media, we've partnered, as you say, launched the flight. We've grown from that time to when now we are times in a week we fly 2 flights. So it's been a good journey of growth, and this is with the full support of Kenyans. This is why we want to give back. We have some prizes that we had agreed with Alex, on each of his, let's say, engagements with the diaspora, we will offer $500 that can be redeemed for any of the services we offer. So you can redeem it for a ticket, you can redeem it for baggage, you can redeem it for an upgrade. I know here in New Jersey, the closest airport is Newark, but we fly from New York, and there's a reason for that. It's because our partner for domestic connections is Delta, and Delta is mainly based in New York, so that's the reason why we chose to operate into New York. And that allows us to be able to offer services not only to New York, but to the rest of the let's say, domestic points, Canada, and also the rest of Americas, including South America. So in order not to keep you too long waiting, we'll make a draw for the lucky winner. The only thing that I ask of you is to make sure at least you register for our new rewards program, Asante program. You get, very good rewards in terms of accruing mileage. As you fly with us, it's our way of saying thank you. That's why the reward program is called Asante. And maybe the only thing I can add is, there's a lot of, let's say, uncertainty or trust as you invest back home. And I always tell people that, you know what, just take a flight to go look at your projects, do your research. If you're doing your due diligence, being there on the ground to be able to see a lot of things, including whether it's viable or not, which is part of due diligence. Being on the ground is so much more efficient. So, this is why we are here, and we offer discounts to the Kenyan diaspora. And we have a special code. You just go to the website, you put the code US diaspora, applies an automatic discount every time. It doesn't matter whether it's high season, low season. Throughout the year, you apply the special discount and you'll get, the special code, US diaspora in capital letters, and you'll get automatic discount.
I have something I'll tell you just before you do that, Rafa. I traveled Kenya Airways 2 weeks ago, and I think, you started off very well. We do not want to give our money to other airlines. It's great to have that direct flight. But how for our small tablets want to function? So you are riding that long flight, and you are sitting on there for 14 hours, and you can't just listen. I think the maintenance staff really need to step up on that so we can give Kenya a small business. Most of us usually want to go for that very quick and come back. And when you're sitting in for the 14 hours and you are idling around, so hopefully from our side, if you can send that to management, it's very, very important. The comfort of the flight is very important. And having for 14 hours and the systems are not working, or you want to charge your phone and you can't charge it, you didn't pay for it. So that's possible.
All right, I'll get some more details from you on the particular flight you came with. And yeah, that's good feedback, and I'll talk to my colleagues to address that.
Yeah. Thank you. We need to wind up. So quickly, stand by for your raffle ticket. Elvis, I think no, really we have to look. Apologies, can we have it after dinner? You can see apologies. Look behind me. Just look. Apologies. We can continue. Really, you'll abide with me. We have to balance because we also have staff there who have been waiting. But we have time after dinner, and during dinner we can still talk to each other. Samahani sana. So I can't give even who you what is it? Oh, that's my. Oh, you have. So who doesn't have? Who doesn't have? Maybe Edison, you want to come and pick quickly? Okay, Stephen. Yeah, no, he has one. So Stephen, yeah, don't look. Wait, don't look. Look the other side. Then check the other side. Pick one. For transparency, pick one. Who is this winner? Let's see. Number 132. Woo! 132? Na kama yuko then. Yeah. 132. Mwenye hayuko na lake ama ako nje. 132. Okay. And that was our rule. Really, mwenye yuko 132. Elizabeth, Richard. 132. Okay. Another one. Big one. And this is one. 139. Oh my. Makofi. Kuja kidogo. Kuja makofi. So you thank him. Utampatia nini something later. Yeah. Quick one. Karibu. Shake hands.
Congratulations. Yeah, so I'll get your details, and by Monday you'll get your voucher on your email. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for supporting Mzalendo, and thank you for attending this event. Let's reach out to others for the next event. Let's make it bigger and stronger. Thank you so much and mbarikiwe sana. Karibu Mzalendo in Jersey City, New Jersey. Indeed.
Thank you, ladies. Let's stand up. Let's stand up quickly. So, kilicho, but bado tuko na. Sasa ngoja kidogo. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have dinner together. We have a little more to share as we have dinner. And Wilfred, congratulations. Coincidentally, I think then you'll have to bring us more Royco. You'll give him enough room for cargo. Royco Unga on Kenya Airways. Tumpigie makofi, Wilfred. So quickly, Elvis, tell us about the dinner arrangement, then we proceed. But remember, we have more for tickets.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Elvis Chumba. I'm the organizer of Jersey Chamat Media Tri-State Chapter. Thank you for coming. It's just that I want to appreciate everyone who is here tonight. Most of you are my friends. We meet on the street, we meet on phone calls, we meet in church, we meet everywhere. Thank you. I don't want to keep you any longer. We're going to go through that door and then make immediate left, and then we're going to have dinner served. Karibuni sana, asanteni sana, tukutane hapo baada ya dinner.
If there is not enough space, wengine mnaweza kuja kukulia hapa. So wengine mkae huko, feel free. Enjoy your dinner. Jipigieni makofi. Asante sana. Wow.